In terms of Photoshop, I had very limited experience with it. What helped me a lot was looking at YouTube tutorials on how to blur backgrounds, and after that, I managed to use it to edit my front cover picture to remove any creases and make it smoother, so the whole focus of the image was on the artist in the middle of the frame. The photographs were done on a digital Canon camera that my school provided, which I also had some minimal experience with, as I have taken pictures for my blog, as well as learning about the different settings on it from a photography camp I went to when I was younger. Photography is something that has always really inspired me, as I think pictures capture a lot of beautiful elements that we often miss with the naked eye. The most experience I have with photography is with my phone, since I always take photos during the day of beautiful places or people I see, and it is always there with me to capture the moment. Although a lot of the quality of the image is lost from the phone camera, so it does not compare to the resolution and impact of the digital picture. However, my favorite camera to use is the film one because the product is always unexpected, as you never know how it turned out, and it provides a filter that makes you look at the image from a different perspective. I edited my images in the software provided by the iPhone photo gallery, as I had to crop them and make some of them black and white or reduce their saturation, which was a software I often play with, so I did not have any trouble with managing that. My plan was to also take pictures of a Turkish drummer in the school, which would have increased the representation of my magazine, as well as taking pictures of an artist while they were sketching their work in the art studio, although my ideas did not manage to get created. This was because I started with the photos of the female musician and also introduced another male member of the band, so the photo shoot turned out a lot better than expected, as I had more than enough successful pictures for my cover, contents, and article page. This led to my original plans being changed. For research and inspiration, I looked on Pinterest at photos of indie rock artists. What I was hoping to gather was information about the color schemes presented in the images, the clothes they wear, the poses, and facial expressions. I made different mood boards for the poses with the female musician, the artist, and the overall aspect of the magazine on Pinterest, which helped me a lot with researching the aesthetics of my audience, as well as creating my magazine's house style. In terms of organization, I managed to get the artist to come to the school studio successfully, and the whole photo shoot took 2 hours, which is longer than I expected, but it was fine because we had reserved the studio for the whole day. The props used I had brought from home, except from the guitar, which I borrowed from the music department in my school. The studio was perfectly set up with lights and cameras provided by the media teacher, therefore the photo shoot went smoothly. Selecting the images to use was the most time-consuming task, as I took a lot of images and I had to carefully select which ones would work for all my magazine products. Choosing the design in Canva was also a difficult task since I didn't find free templates that I liked. Therefore, I had to create my own ones, which took a very long time. Also, since it was my first time using the software and I didn't get any type of instructions. The photo shoot was very frustrating but fun. After I started using the red light, the photos started to look very blurry, and it was hard working with the models since they kept moving around and the camera captured every movement, which I did not want in some of my shots. Although after a while, I managed to make them used to the camera and they relaxed, so the atmosphere was calmer and I was able to experiment with new ideas. We delayed a lot since the setting up was difficult, as she had to get dressed with the props I brought and get the studio in order. Editing the images was interesting since it was a new task for me and I enjoyed learning how to do it. I learned how to use the studio by experimenting with the lights and background on my own. This process of learning through experience really helped me since I could try new things out on my own and see which ones I liked the most. I wanted the lighting to be more subtle, so she still had some shadows on her face, so I used only one light and pointed it from the side. Warm tones work best for my magazine as it complements her skin color and also adds to the vintage look of the magazine. I tried a variety of poses of her sitting down on the floor, laying down, or even sitting on a stool or chair. When the other artist joined, I took some bird's eye shots and made them sit back to back to further highlight their connection. Using the red light gave the effect I was searching for. The retro 90s rock vibe that I often saw from the research I did helped me achieve the house style of my magazine. The text I use for the masthead gives an elegant and detailed feel to my magazine, which will help it appeal to a wider range of people, such as those who are not interested in the retro messy aesthetic and are more interested in the artistic side of it. I tried sticking to the same fonts on Canva, so the magazine cover, article, and contents had some similarity to them and were not completely random. Another way I managed to do this was by adding the Muse and Melody logo onto every page, even if it is very subtle and hardly noticeable, to create a sense of iconography to the magazine. Writing the articles was not difficult, only deciding the topics of the articles and contents was hard, as it had to match the needs of musicians, viewers, and art ones, as well as those who are passionate about both. The photos I used turned out very well since I had enough for all my pages from only one photo shoot. The final products were very successful aesthetically and for my target audience, although I would have liked to make something that defies conventions more and for a more alternative audience, such as having illustrations on the front cover or an unusual page format. I redrafted things many times as I changed my mind every time I looked at them and noticed new details the more I spent analyzing them. Things that I changed between drafts were sizes, the amount of text on the pages, the format of the page, or some images as well. Some of the changes I did to make the magazine look more aesthetic, but some I changed to match my target audience better, such as the black and white images that connote a sense of mystery and vintage tone to them, as well as elegance. I asked some of my friends to comment and give me advice on them, and this helped me a lot, as they are actually my target audience since they share this interest in music and art. They gave me feedback on the images and fonts, and this helped my magazine to target them better.